Quarantine Andy checking in. Haven't had a haircut 6 weeks. I don't know. Look like shit. Just just relaxing. But I guess the bigger announcement here is that yes, I am a competitive eater now. I've joined the ranks. I'm a professional athlete, I guess, for lack of a better term. Speaking with friend of the pod Chris Kelly last year after the hot dog episode that we put up, he explained some of the qualification rules and how to go about making it to the Nathan's famous Fourth of July hot dog eating contest there on Coney Island, and you just have to take down one of these qualifiers or be a there's wild cards. Maybe I'll get into that a different day, but he said you should see how many hot dogs you can eat in one sitting, and then maybe do some trainings, build on that, and see if it's something you can do. Because I think I can take down one of these qualifiers and make it there. It looks like the goal is probably going to be 25 to 30 hot dogs in 10 minutes. So I had to set a baseline to see where we're at. You don't work on the high jump without seeing how far you can or how high you can jump to start with. You got to see where you start so you can end up at your goals. And I did a quick dry run at home, cooked up some hot dogs, tried it out. It was rough. I didn't really, I didn't do any actual training for it yet. I did some light fasting the day before and the morning of, just to have an empty stomach to go after it. But I did test out a few methods that I read about. Obviously, I've done a bunch of research on some of the training I'm going to have to do to up this number, but I did record it just in case anybody wants to see me eating a bunch of hot dogs and buns and looking miserable. So, dry run. So here's me setting the timer, getting ready in the kitchen of the farmhouse. I have muted the audio from the actual recording, so if you see my lips moving, you won't be able to hear it. It's gross listening to me eat hot dogs up close. I set a timer for 11 minutes. In the actual contest, you get 10 minutes plus 30 seconds afterwards. Anything that is in your mouth before the 10 minutes elapsed, you have 30 seconds to swallow. So I have a 30-second countdown before I started, doing a little stretching out. My wife refused to watch, but I made her stay nearby in case I choked. Here's my countdown starting and snapping some hot dogs in half. It's known as the Solomon method, made famous by our Japanese friend, Mr. Kobayashi. Here's me deciding that this is not as easy as I thought it would be. Bun has been dunked in water. Big problem with the camera already. You can't see any of the hot dogs, so I guess maybe count them yourself if you don't believe how many I ate. I didn't eat that many, but I made 20. So big problem right away, watching the tape, grinding tape, realizing some of the technique isn't good. I'm slow. I'm just slow right off the bat. I'm chewing way, way too much. A big problem with the technique is chewing when I should be swallowing bigger chunks. There's some more hot dogs. Just busted those in half. They're still a little hot. I think I should have let them cool off a little more. I guess that's not really up to me come actual contest time, but I cooked these dogs. I could have let them cool off a little more. You can see I haven't had a haircut in weeks. Grays are coming through. I'm wearing my very best hooded sweatshirt. Just working at it. And I'm yelling at my wife, too, because she's asking how much. She thought I could only eat 8. So, kind of wrecked that. Here's me doing some jumping. I'm just, throughout this whole thing, I'm going to just try some techniques. Because this is, complete dry run. Never done it before. The jumping is supposed to compact things into the bottom of your stomach, making a little more room. I'm still going at a decent speed. What is amazing here is I did watch some actual tape from the real 4th of July one, and Mr. Chestnut puts back 10 dogs and buns in the first 60 seconds, which is just lunacy, considering that's what I managed in 10 minutes. Spoiler alert. But just working at it. Another big problem, no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. That's the technique is just shit. It's shit all around. People, real competitive eaters have a methodology where they're grabbing 2 dogs, those are in their mouth, they're dunking the 2 buns, they're moving on, their hands know what they're doing, whereas I'm fiddling with my phone because the screen lock went on and I can't see the timer. That was another big problem. That probably, honestly, the phone timer probably cost me a full dog. Who knows? You'll find out that's not true at the end when you see me struggling to get the last ones in, but here's me just working some buns. Another big technique problem, a lot of inconsistency in my dunking. I'm through a full plate. That's 5. Here's another one. I don't know where we're at for a time at this point. I wish I should put the timer on the screen for the next one. I'm going to try to figure out how to do that with OBS. But, yeah, some of the buns were much drier. I had to redunk. That's probably a problem from an efficiency standpoint. And then at the same time, too, a couple were so wet that it was just, I think I was probably taking in too much water. And then here's me trying to drink. I think of all the notes I made so far, I needed to take a few drinks, but that giant cup was a bit much for me to try to grab one-handed and not make a mess of myself as my hands were greasy from dogs. I think a smaller cup, maybe some lemonade or something. They're breaking some more, going in, thinking about it, going in hard. There we go. Pound them. See, and a lot of the training research I've done has shown, like, basically you don't chew stuff up. Like, you don't chew stuff up like a normal person would eat. And that's what I'm doing here. It's because, for what, I'm 35 years old. For 35 years, you chew and eat something a certain way, and you're just used to it. Whereas here, you need to chew maybe a small fraction of how much you'd actually chew food for and just swallow it in giant chunks for speed and efficiency. And that was probably one of my biggest holdbacks because I needed to come out of the gate a lot faster to get more down at the beginning, and it just didn't happen. So working on swallowing is going to be a big part of the training, along with stomach expansion, and I mean just overall technique. Here's me starting to slow down, hating life, yelling at my wife, telling her every so often, I mean, I don't know if you can lip read or anything, but every so often I am letting her know that I'm still alive and not choking. She's a nurse, so that's useful. There's another technique I was trying out. If you cover your mouth and breathe out of your nose really hard, you can actually force some more thoracic pressure, forcing food down the esophagus. I don't know if I believed into that. Maybe I just didn't have enough food in my throat for it to actually work. But I did want to, some of the methodology that I'd read about, I did want to try it. And, I mean, there's another one, too. Keeping your head up. It's the same thing. I think it was something I read. This is probably paraphrased, but it said, when somebody chugs a beer, they don't do it with their head down. Your head up, you open your throat. Same thing when somebody gives CPR. When you're trying to get stuff down the airway or the throat, you want to lift the head up. So maybe keeping my head up was a little something. Some people do the jumping. Some people do the swaying. Kind of keeps food moving down. Here's me struggling some more, turning the phone back on. God, look at those sideburns. At a certain point here, I'm going to probably just have to try to cut my own hair if things don't open up. But right now, just podcasting and competitive eating. Singularly focused. Content. The Boulders is a beautiful resort north of Phoenix. Love this hat. I've had it for many years. There's me working a few more dogs in. I'm not sure where we're at on the time. Oh, there's me stretching, kind of hating where I'm at in life, realizing that, another technique. I missed that one. Some people are able to push on their stomach and it compacts the food a little. Again, I don't know if I was probably doing it wrong. I didn't think that one helped a ton. Here's me thinking about the life choices I've made in the last 10 minutes. Kind of rocking back and forth, working the neck. Oh, I kind of hesitated on that one a little. You can tell it's starting to set in. Those hot dogs did not taste good after the first 5. After that, they just tasted greasy. And I don't know, I think I was just drinking straight warmish tap water. I think maybe some lemonade would have helped. At a certain point, I tried dunking 2 buns and then just mashing them together into one mega bun. I didn't like that. That was just too much chewing. There's me closing my eyes hard. Oof. Thinking about these, not loving those. Thinking about how hard it's going to be to get to 25 or 30 of these to take down a qualifier. But early on, Usain Bolt didn't just step on a track and run a 9.5 100-meter dash. I don't know if that's the record. That sounds pretty quick. Actually, I'm going to have to fact check that time. Here's me yelling at the missus again, working on a couple more. I have no idea how many I have down at this point. I've already said I get down 10 buns and dogs. It does take me the full 10 minutes. I didn't quit early. And I do have to go into the extra time. I do use the 30 extra seconds to chew up the last bun. There's a moment or two here where I don't look like I'm going to keep it down. I guess, to be fair, to make this an accurate depiction, I'll try this next time. I should have the actual dogs and the plate on the camera. Maybe I'll turn the camera sideways. And then also, probably I should have the 10 minutes after. You got to keep, in competition, you have to keep all this food down for I have to look it up. I think you have to keep it down for a full 10 minutes afterwards, which, if you want to call my wife and ask her, I just laid on the couch for 10 minutes looking like a miserable fucking human being. So I was hurting. I did eat that night, though. It's not like I was ruined for the day. I took a handful of Tums after this. I guess some competitors will take laxatives before they eat. Obviously, they can't kick in that fast, but it's more of along the lines of getting things moving along afterwards, because some of these people are eating 40, 50, 70 hot dogs, and they need that space to clear out eventually. No, I didn't do that. I will say everything is working normally in my gastrointestinal system after the dog eating contest. No effects, no detriment to my body other than the amount of calories I had for lunch without any ketchup even. I think we're going to come up on a moment here where I do have a little bit of a gag reflex, but I fought through it. I'm drinking a lot of water, and I'm wasting a lot of time with that. Just more technique shit. You can tell, just terrible noob shit, rookie, awful. I'm sure if my heroes, Sincati, Chestnut, the men, Kobayashi, they saw this, they'd laugh. They'd say, this guy, he doesn't have it. Oh, there I am, just dying. We got to be getting close here. I should have looked at the clock on the microwave there, seen where we're at. Just as another spoiler, I do not eat those 4 dogs on the back burner there. Oh, there's me doing some pushing. I fed some of those hot dogs to my dogs. They were pretty happy about it. They're old, so they're happy to get any treats they can. That's a gross shot. Somebody should probably screenshot that. Oh, through the plate. We're getting close to time here. Stretching it out. Hating it. Oh, there it is. That was it. Saved it, he says. He said that was close. If I had it thrown up on camera, I would not have published this, much less done a voiceover track. Here's me trying to work those last. I believe I'm in the bonus 30 seconds at this point. Just trying to work stuff down, and there it is. Roasted.